Hello and welcome to everyone. Myself Ankit. This is the second video for first chapter of class 6th, that is categories of computers and computer languages. In previous video we have discussed and learned about different types of computers. In this video I will discuss about computer languages, its types, and one more topic is there, that is language processors. Okay, so in this video we will cover two topics. First is computer language and second is language processors. Okay, so now first start about computer languages. Okay, so the first question is arises in our mind is what is language? Okay, so generally language is a medium by which we express our views, ideas and feelings. That means it is the way of communication between human beings. Okay, so just like that, to communicate with a computer we need a language that a computer understands. Okay, so we all know that computer does not do anything its own, means computer has not any thinking ability. Okay, so it needs a set of instructions that tells the computer what to do and how to do, and that set of instructions is called program. Okay, so what is program? Program is a set of instructions that instructs the computer that what to do and how to do. Okay, and programming language or computer languages are used to write computer programs. Okay, one more term is there, that is programming. So what is programming? Programming is the process of writing computer programs in a computer language. Okay, so what is the use of computer language? Computer language are used to construct programs, and programs instructs the computer what to do and how to do. Okay, so each and every programming language has its own specific rules, which is known as syntax. Okay, next one is types of computer languages. Okay, so the development of computer languages has been classified into the following categories. Okay, the first one is machine language, second is assembly language, high level language, and fourth generation language. Okay, and also we can categorize these languages into two categories. The first one is low level language and the second one is high level language. Okay, so the two categories of low level languages are, the first one is machine language and the second one is assembly language. Okay, and the other one is high level language. Understood? So now I will discuss about each and every language one by one. Okay, so first of all, the first language, that is machine language. Okay, and it is the first generation of language and also the part of low level language. Okay, so now the important point of machine language are, machine language is the only language that a computer understands. Okay, means computer does not understand any other language rather than machine language. The only language which the computer understands, that is machine language. Okay, and machine language is expressed in binary form, that is 0 and 1. That means all the instructions which we write in machine language will be in the form of 0 and 1. Means all the instructions will be written, and means all the instructions will be constructed by 0 and 1. Okay, next one is, it has some advantages. Okay, the first advantage is it is it has very high speed. Machine language, the execution speed of machine language is very high. Okay, and the second point is it needs a low memory for storage. Means whenever we want to store any program of machine language in a computer, so that means minimum memory, or we can say low memory. Okay, but it has some disadvantages also. The first one is machine language is very tough to understand. Okay, because all the coding will be performed in the form of 0 and 1. So that's why it is very difficult or tough to understand, and as well as it is the time consuming process to learning it. Okay, one more disadvantage of machine languages uh, means it is difficult to write and debug programs on it. Okay, one term is there, that is debug. What is the meaning of debug? Okay, bug bug means errors. Okay, whenever we are developing any program in machine language or in any other language, okay, if there are some errors, so those errors are known as bug. Okay, and the process to correct those error is called debug. Okay, so whenever we are correcting the errors, so that is called debug. Okay, so in machine language, that is difficult to write and debug programs. Okay, and one more disadvantage of machine language is machine dependent. Okay, the meaning of machine dependent is whenever we are writing any program in machine language in computer, suppose we are for example we are developing a program in machine language in computer A. Okay, so the program is designed in machine or computer A. Okay, so means that program we cannot use in any other machine, for example in machine B. Okay, so that program will work only in the machine A. Okay, so that's why machine language is known as machine dependent. That means a machine language program written on one computer may or may not run on another computer. So that's why machine language is known as machine dependent. Okay, okay, the second computer language is assembly language. That is also called second generation of language, as well as it is the second category of low level language. Okay, so this type of language uses numeric codes or symbols in place of 0 and 1. That means assembly language does not use 0 and 1. Okay, it uses only numeric codes or symbols. Okay, so for example, if the operation code for add is 1010, okay, and that is written in machine language. Okay, so in machine language we can write add directly. Okay, we will use only this type of code for writing purpose. Okay, so in machine language we can means this 1010 is representing this add. Okay, but it can be directly written as add in case of assembly language. Okay, so that means this add is known as numeric code or symbols. Okay, so add is known as numeric codes or symbols in case of assembly language. Okay, so for example, if we want to perform the subtraction, so we can use sub, for multiplication mul, for division div. Okay, so these are known as numeric codes or symbols. Okay, so here in assembly language we are not we does not use any 0 and 1. We use numeric codes or symbols. Okay, so that's why it is easy to work in it than in binary language or machine language. Okay, one more thing is there, assembly language is also machine dependent and time consuming. That means the programs written in any computer in assembly language cannot be run or cannot be executed in other computers or machines. Okay, and it is also called low level language. Okay, the next one is high level language. The next category is high level language. Okay, so high level language is the third generation of language, and it is simple and user friendly language. Why it is called simple and user friendly? Because high level language is quite similar to the English language. Okay, means here we simply use the English language for writing the instruction. Okay, we are not using numeric codes or symbols as well as 0 and 1. Here we simply use the English language for writing the instructions. Okay, and one more point is there, that is the advantage of high level language. This is machine independent. That means the program which constructed in any machine can be run in any other machine. That means the program is not dependent only one machine or only one computer. Okay, means all the programs written in high level language can be run in any computer. Okay, and the example of high level language are COBOL, Fortran, C, C++, Java, etc. So these are the name of computer languages which comes under the high level language. Okay, next category of computer languages is fourth generation language, or we can say 4GL. Okay, so this type of language is closer to human language than any other high level language. Okay, it is highly user friendly type of language, and it has very high speed of execution. Okay, as well as it reduces the programming efforts and the time and the cost to developing software. Okay, so here means whenever we are using the fourth generation of language, so there is no need of any prior knowledge of any language. Okay, so here in 4GL the user has to specify only the required output they want. Okay, while the computer determines the sequences or sequences of instructions that will accomplish those results. Okay, so here no need to write any instructions. Okay, here we have to specify only the required output, and the computer automatically determines the sequence of instructions. Okay, so these are the features of fourth generation of language. Okay, and the example of this type of language is SQL, that is structured query language. Okay, so these all are the different categories of computer language. Okay, next topic is language processors. Okay, so now just understand the purpose of language processor. Okay, so we all know that a computer understands only the machine language. Okay, so hence a program written in any other computer language has to be converted into the machine language first. Okay, so to translate any high level language program to the machine language program, a software is required. Okay, and this software is called language processor or language translator. Okay, so the purpose of language processor is to convert any program of any language. Okay, that program may be of assembly language, and that program may be of high level language. Okay, so that is the job of language processor, to convert any program, okay, into the machine language. Okay, and it is also known as language translator. Okay, so there are three types of language processors. First one is assembler, second one is interpreter, and third one is compiler. Okay, so first of all, just understand the purpose of assembler. Okay, so assembler is the translator program, or we can say assembler is the software, okay, that convert, okay, the program of assembly language into machine language. Okay, the job of assembler is to convert the any program that is written in assembly language into the machine language, or only. Okay, so that means assembler only convert assembly language into machine language. It does not convert any other program. It only convert the program of assembly language. Okay, so the program means written in assembly language is called source program. That is known as source program. Any program that is written in assembly language is called source program, whereas after the conversion means whenever the program converted into the machine language by the assembler, that is called object code. Okay, so that is the use of assembler. Okay, now next one is interpreter and compiler. Okay, so both interpreter and compiler are used to convert high level language into machine code. Okay, but the working process of these two language processors are different. Okay, so some differences are there in between of these language processors. Okay, the first is interpreter translates the means high level language into machine code line by line. Okay, whereas compiler translates the whole program at once. Okay, second one is in case of interpreter, if any errors found first, that will be corrected and then the next line will execute it, whereas in compiler means it provides all the errors at once. Okay, next one is interpreter is preferred for beginners, whereas compiler is used by experts. Okay, and the speed means the execution speed of interpreter is slow, whereas faster means compiler. In case of compiler, the execution speed is faster than interpreter. Okay, so both interpreter and compiler are used to convert high level language into machine code, and interpreter converts the high level language into machine code line by line, whereas compiler converts the whole program at once. So this is the important point in case of interpreter and compiler. Okay, and whereas assembler is used to convert the program of assembly language into machine language. Okay, so that is the use of language processors. Okay, so now this is the end of first chapter. Okay, so later I will send you the means all the question answers of this chapter. Okay, and if you have any doubt, any problem, you can WhatsApp me. Okay, thank you to all.